Let's get into the chart of accounts. In a previous video, I showed you that with any account in the chart of accounts that has a running balance total on it, you can double-click on it to bring up a register of transactions for that account. The register shows a running tally by date on the left-hand side and your incoming and outgoing money and how those transactions affect the final balance on the right-hand side. I'll close this now to get back to the home screen. And by the way, you can hit the Escape key on your keyboard to close out of a window. There's a few ways that I can get into the check register of my checking account for my business. I showed you how you can click on it in the chart of accounts, but you can also click Check Register in the home screen to bring it up also. So on the left-hand side, here's that tally by date. You can also see what the transaction was, such as a deposit, a bill payment, or a check that I printed. You can also see payments that were payments to vendors. You can see who it was for in the top row, and underneath that, you can see what account it's getting tracked in by QuickBooks. I can see whether it was a payment or a deposit. The items that have check marks next to them means that it has been cleared and has been accounted for in QuickBooks somewhere already. Finally, on the right-hand side, I can see a running balance and how those payments and deposits affect that balance on a line-by-line basis. I can add a new item to this register at any time. I just need to know the date, the payee, and the account that QuickBooks is going to use to track it with. Let's add something manually now. Let's say that I was going to go to a hotel, but they charged me a cancellation fee, and I haven't yet put it into QuickBooks. I can do that right now from this check register. Let's say that it happened a month ago. You'll notice that I would be putting it in the past because we're already into this date here, but it's okay. I don't have to worry about putting it in order and finding out where it's supposed to go. I can click on the calendar in the next blank available line and edit the date that it happened. I can put in the date when the transaction occurred, and QuickBooks will put it in the right spot when I'm done. When I choose a payee, I can either click the drop-down all the way on the right-hand side to choose an existing list. However, this is for a vendor that I don't have in the system yet, so I'm going to type in their name manually. It's the Hotel Marion. When I hit the Tab key to go to the next field, QuickBooks will tell me that it's not in the system. I'm going to choose Quick Add. I need to decide whether the Hotel Marion is a vendor, customer, employee, or something else. It's a vendor, so I'll leave that selected and click OK. Now I need to specify the money as either a payment or a deposit. Because it's a $25 cancellation fee, it's going to go in the Payments section. Underneath that, I need to click the drop-down next to an account and choose the account that it's going to be tracked by. Because this was for a hotel, I'm going to scroll near the bottom and put it into Travel Expenses. In the memo field, I could also write a note about what it's for. You'll notice that the ending balance hasn't updated itself yet. That's because QuickBooks hasn't actually recorded this transaction yet. If I don't want this, if I made a mistake or realize that I'm putting it into the wrong bank account, I can click the Restore button on the bottom right-hand side, and everything will disappear. However, if I'm happy with everything, I can click the blue Record button next to it. The transaction is now recorded and the ending balance has been reflected to include that $25 fee. As soon as I hit record, it looks like the transaction just disappeared, but it hasn't. QuickBooks has already put it into the appropriate place in the date field on the left-hand side, so it sorted itself properly. Here it is where it should be 1 month prior. If I was recording a transaction for something that happened much earlier, I wouldn't be able to see it on the screen and I'd have to scroll up a bit to find it. Once I'm done, I can close out of the check register and we're back to the home screen.